Okay. With show of hands, how many of you have stayed up past midnight, either studying for tests or doing homework? I think that's a lot. Not getting enough rest is one way we can all catch a cold. Today, I want to explain to you the steps to treat the cold. I've been researching this topic for several weeks now, and I found many information interesting. I'm sure that all of us have caught a cold many times in our lifetime. Today, I'll explain the common cold symptoms, how to treat a cold, and how to prevent from catching a cold. The first thing that I would like you to know about are the common cold symptoms. Certain cold symptoms are very common and occur with most colds. Number one is congestion. You can have a runny nose or headaches. Sneezing is very common with colds. Number two, watery eyes. The eyes can be runny or you can feel like you have more tears than usual. Number three is feeling tired. You don't have the energy to do everyday activities. Four is fever. Fever is rare in adults but more common in children. If your fever goes above 101 degrees, you should contact a doctor because it might be more than a cold. Number five is cough. You may have a dry cough. And you should always call the doctor if you are coughing up bright red blood or bloody mucus. Number six is headache. When you have a cold, headaches are very common because congestion puts pressure on the sinus area, causing your head to hurt. Now that you have the idea of the symptoms of a common cold, let's take a look at how to treat a cold. There are no known cures for the cold or the flu, but there are treatments that can bring a symptom relief or shorten the time of the symptoms. First one is stay rested. Resting can help your body direct its energy toward the immune system. Number two is gargle. Gargling moistens a sore throat and can bring temporary relief. According to www.webmd.com, a teaspoon of salt in warm water can help relieve a sore throat. And drink hot liquids. Drinking hot liquids can relieve nasal congestion and help prevent dehydration. And next, take a steamy shower. Steamy showers treat your nasal passages and can help you relax. And sleep with an extra pillow under your head. This will help with the drainage of nasal passages. Colds are caused by viral infections. According to www.medicinet.com, there are over 200 different viruses that can cause cold symptoms of varying severity. There are ways you can prevent the spread of colds to lower your chances of being infected with a virus that causes colds. These three things have viruses in them. And this is a picture of viruses. Number one, to prevent from getting a cold is wash your hands. This is the best way to prevent the transmission of cold. Wash your hands after shopping, going to the gym, and spending time in public places because there are a lot of viruses around us. Number two, avoid touching your face. Avoid nose, mouth, and eye areas after touching surfaces in a public area. And number three, keep household surfaces clean. Wipe doors, knobs, keyboards, light switches, telephones, remote controls, countertops, and sinks with disinfectant solution or with soap and water. The two disinfectant solutions that I found were Clorox and Lysol. 4, maintain a healthy lifestyle. Adequate sleep, good nutrition, and physical exercises can help guarantee that your immune system is in good condition. In conclusion, I've explained to you the common cold symptoms, how to treat a cold, and how to prevent it. So remember to get enough sleep, wash your hands frequently, and next time you have a cold, you now know the treatments to treat your cold.
So, Rose, what did you think?
I liked your visuals. I liked how the whole presentation was actually was organized. I thought the listing of the symptoms was a little bit too much. And for citation, you didn't really have to include the www.webmed.com. I think just the website WebMed. You kind of read at times through notes of you too many times, but the eye contact was there. So overall, I thought it was a very informative speech.
All right, well, I think I've made my fondness for audience surveys pretty clear. Not enthusiastic about that, and it's really kind of a limited connection to the topic, so I think you need something a little bit more original, involving, and maybe dramatic or interesting to get our attention at the beginning of the speech. The topic is clearly identified, there's a structure set up, so at the beginning of the speech you're doing some of the basics pretty well. In the body of the speech, I kind of agree with Rose. You don't need the www, just tell us the name of the website, that's okay. Because you're not going to give us the whole URL address anyway, so what do we need the prefix code there for? You know, we also don't need the HTTP proxy, so just tell us the name of the website, how it's identified. If we were looking for it later, we can get that sort of information. The structure, I think, is clear, but it's also one of the problems with the speech because it ends up sounding like I've got three lists for you. My first list are all the symptoms. My second list are all the treatments. My third list are the things to prevent a cold from. And it sounds even more like a list because as you go through it, you're numbering all of the points in each of those points. I've got 6 symptoms that we're talking about. There are 5 treatments that we've got. There are 4 things that you can do to prevent this. And so by the end of the speech, holy criminy, it's only 5 minutes, 5.5 minutes, and I was given almost 20 things that you're talking about. You're changing subjects very rapidly. The thing about the symptoms, for instance, is she's absolutely correct. It's way too much. You asked the question right at the beginning, well, how many of you have had a cold? And everybody in here has had a cold. So are you really revealing anything to them, helping them understand anything more by telling them what the symptoms of a cold are? They all know what the symptoms of a cold are. They've had them. So spending a lot of time on that seems like it's unnecessary. If you wanted to, you could talk about what are the symptoms of the cold that people have the most trouble with, or which ones could be treated with over-the-counter medicines pretty easily, but which ones do you just have to tough it out through, or something along those lines, so that the speech is really a little bit more organic rather than just, here's the Wikipedia version of the common cold. I think there needs to be more there. I think you could have taken one of those subtopics and made that the focus of the speech. For instance, the treatments or the prevention techniques. One of those might have made a good speech to focus on and talk about why it is. Like if you were talking about preventing getting a cold, that's when your information about viruses would be particularly relevant. And how can we avoid coming in contact with viruses? That's why you have to watch out for those common surfaces. You showed it made it seem like viruses come from remote controls. No, remote controls are just places where viruses end up that we come in contact with them. It's not that they grow there and that's where they come from. And if you don't have a remote control in your house, you'll never get the cold because dang, they're not producing any viruses there. I think you need to, like I said, have that kind of a focus and then talk about those things and make an interesting story. They're just here early, I think. All right. They're going, oh,